Good morning, everyone. I know it is early, a little earlier than what I posted, but hey, we got to get used to getting up early. Got to get used to getting up bright and early, getting the things done we want to get done. We're going to be able to do it. Sorry about that. We'll never be able to do it unless we just get up and do it. So, welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast, guys. Get up, get your coffee. We're just going to chill out. See you in a bit. Welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast. Man, we are back. Well, I am back, and I'm glad to be back, Glad to be back in the saddle. That's why I titled it the way I titled it. Back in the saddle. We're just going to chill out in the morning. I just want to, for months, I have been thinking about and pondering whether I should get up in the morning. Well, let's rewind. Let's rewind a little bit. Hope everybody is doing well. If you are watching this podcast for the first time, this is a Thought and Talk podcast, and I am the host, Aaron EBM. If you've been around since day one, you already know who I am and what I am about. But, I've been thinking about a rebrand, because if you've been around in these YouTube spaces, the Black love machine and the love machine and interpersonal relationships and all that stuff is big. It sells, it makes money. But is that everybody's path? Is that everybody's way of life? Or is that everybody's, goal in life to do these, these relationship things? If you listen to different content creators, you got the SBE, the shame, blame, and explain. And it is a fun thing and it's a good thing. And it in some aspects it should be talked about, and that's all good. And power to everybody that's doing their thing. Power to everybody that's getting out there and getting their messages out and messages heard. And that's what these platforms are for. So no hate, only congratulations to the people that are doing their thing. So I am glad that they are doing those things and getting it done. And I will continue to enjoy the people that I want to enjoy. But, after really getting, consuming that content, consuming the same things over and over again, and wanting to get your ideas out and wanting to, express the things you feel, because, in all actuality, we all have some of those same thoughts and same feelings. And if you are a man in this society, it is a good thing. And it's a thing that feels great for you to get out and be able to voice your your thoughts and opinions. But after a while of voicing your thoughts and opinions, you begin, if you are a person, especially a man with that is worth anything, is worth his grain, it is weight in salt or weight in gold, whatever way you want to interpret it. You begin to think to yourself, well, what's next? You know, is this path for me, or is this path for them and I, or whoever you're thinking about? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one. You know, yes, it's fun to join the conversation, but you begin to get stuck. You begin to get to a place to where you begin to question things. You begin to question the validity of different talking points. You begin to question the validity of the people that are making the talking points, and you yourself begin to think, well, did I just get stuck in a spot to where it's sensational, or is this really something for me? And you are not the only one if you're thinking that, because off that is the human nature. That is human nature to want to be apart. There have been several multiple experiments to know that hurting, as human beings, we are gravitated to the people that feel like us, that think like us, that want to do the same things that we do. And that's not unnatural. That's not irregular. That is a part of life to want to do that. So it's but it can be very dangerous to do it as well. You begin to get stuck and begin to just follow the things that are sensational, and you don't want that. We are creative human beings. We all each and have our purpose. If you believe in God or whatever you believe in, if you are a person that is of light, of good, you all know that you have your everybody, each and every one of us has our unique purpose, and every one of our purposes can't be the same thing. So, but you will never find out what you want to do or what your purpose is without doing some introspection, without doing some heavy, meditation, praying, thinking about what you want to do or who you are as a person. I heard a content creator say last night that, and not trying to pull it down this whole slavery road, because we all been there, that us as, you call whether you want to believe it as FBA, ADOS, or anybody that came from to this country, and you are under the belief that you came to this country, or your ancestors came to this country, I'll say it like that, not of their own will, have been through a lot. Our ancestors have been put through things and done have things done to them, and that trauma and that way of those thoughts and different things negatively have been passed down from generation to generation. Now, you know, I am not one of the ones that believes that we should be stuck in this and become perpetual, whiners or complainers about our situation, but I am not foolish enough and I'm not arrogant enough to know that those things have impacted, the community or the community, whatever you want to talk. It depends, whoever you're talking to of that black community. So negative things have been passed down, and so in that aspect, I have been lenient to some degree. But where my impatience comes is when people don't want to do better and you want to get stuck in pointing the finger at what people or what have happened to you and what has been given to you, um, whether it is unfair or unjust. We're not, I'm not saying that, but we get stuck in that, and it's the same thing with that, and it's this that we get stuck in as people, as human beings. It's the same thing you get stuck in when you're making this content. It is humanity. It's a part of being a human being to want to fit in, to want to do the things that people do, that make you feel good. Of course, you want to join in, but when does it come a time for you to be an individual? You know, being stuck in doing the things that people or that make you feel good, or the things that make you want to be a part, will often stunt you from or stop you from actually doing the things that you were meant to do here on earth. That's right. Being a follower, being giving in to the things that make you feel good, or the being around the people that make you feel good all the time without being challenged, without being to really being forced to look at things differently will cause you to be stunted. It will not allow you to be the person that you want to be, or to make it to the person that you want to be. It's easy to ride other people's coattails. It's easy to, you know, um, follow up behind those people. And what happens is you want to be, because are and let's be realistic, an admirer of those people. You want to be like those people, and most of the time you want to carbon copy what those people do in order to reach a point of success. You see it all the time with people emulating different content creators that have done big, but yet they have not been able to reach the same heights, or they might get a little traction, but in all reality, they are just another carbon copy. When does it come a time to where a person wants to do what they want to do, or do what's best for them, and not be a follower or go against the grain and do something different? That is the beauty of being a non-follower, or the beauty of just wanting to be yourself. But we're here. So that was the thoughts on why I wanted to I'm really thinking about doing a rebrand, and I probably will do a rebrand here and start doing it slowly in the next few weeks or few months. And there's things in the news and going on and with the opposite sex in the community that will be touched on, because they need to be touched on. But we got to do our own thing. We got to be real content creators. We got to get out here and not just sit in front of the camera all the time and just argue either back and forth, or just random talking. I want to challenge the people who are content creators, that claim they're content creators, to really get out there and do different things. Get out there and really find your real purpose. Don't be tricked into going the easy route. And I know this isn't for everybody. Some people are just spectators, just commentators, and really don't look at it too deep. But all of this being said, man, we're gonna get it going. We're gonna get it going. I got some good feelings about where this is going and where things are gonna go. And I haven't went anywhere. And I do apologize for not being around, but we're here. We all get in those spaces, and I'm not going anywhere. But I got up this morning, and the first thing that I read out of my Art of War book was Sun Tzu, weak points and strong. Sun Tzu said, "Whoever is the first in the field and awaits of the coming enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field has to hasten the battle and will arrive exhausted." That means get up early. That's that saying you hear all the time. Get up early to early to bed, early to rise. Get up and be fresh. Be fresh to the fight. And I've been pondering getting up early in the mornings, for the last few months, especially because I wanted to get on my back into my real estate study and my for my real estate exam. And I'm under the human condition. I told you before that I run, and that hasn't changed. But I know myself and my body well enough to know that the longer you take off, the longer you think about doing something, the more you will not do it. So you got to get up, you got to get started. You can't sit there and say, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it, later on today. Just get up, hit the record button. If you're a recorder, or if you're just a live streamer, get up and just hit the live stream button. It doesn't always need planning, especially when you're getting back into the seat. It doesn't need planning. You don't have to get up and plan for anything. You get up and start doing. Get up and start doing. Don't even worry about a plan. You can plan, and you can get your spreadsheets, and you can get all your stuff out after you get started, and you want to make your days, your evenings, whatever you want to, wherever you start, more efficient. Then you get efficient, and you begin to do those things. You begin to make your process better. But just when you're starting, when you want to do something, you just got to get out and do it. Thinking about how you're going to make your plan perfect. Thinking about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and every step be meticulously thought out, will put you in a spot or a position to where you just won't do it. So, morning, morning, morning. Hope all is well. If you're new here again, welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast. Looking for had some articles up too. We might save that for this evening. We might save it. I think I might save it for this evening. But and that had a lot to do with the children, and that's one of my passions. I was going to talk about this the other night, but we'll talk a little bit about some of the different things that I find passionate and joy in. And one of them was youth ministry. I used to be in youth ministry before I turned into a heathen. I used to be in youth ministry because you know I am a natural introvert, an outgoing introvert, which means I can talk. I'm on here. I'm not afraid to put my face out here. I'm not afraid to talk, and I'm not afraid to talk to people. But when I have I'd rather spend time by myself, re-energize, and being around a lot of people all the time drains me. So I am more likely to have fun and be at peace, with the personal people around me in my space. So people get on my nerves. The adults are the ones that get on my nerves. The children are the one that I can pour into, and I can actually help change. And when I got into that ministry, it wasn't even for the spiritual aspect, but the realization that I could actually help mold or help determine this child's life. Because in a lot of instances here in America, you know, young men and women do not have stable parents, or if they have stable parents, they're all over the place. In the mind aspect, and I begin to learn as a father that that a lot of the children that you in the world just need lack the structure, and they need the structure, and a lot of the kids do not have structure. And if you see that, if you really pay attention to what's going on, whether you're talking about no matter what community it is, you will see what's really going on is the lack of the kids, or the kids that have the most issues are the ones that do not have structure. And the more you implement different things or different aspects of different structural aspects into your home, you will begin to see your child change. You'll begin to see different things or different behaviors actually improve. So this is what I wanted to add, and this is what I found that was a value add for the community, was to help children in the age range that I was helping with, is with the tweeners, the in between, the kids that were adolescents going into young adulthood, because that's an important aspect. That's a very important time. All times are important for their own important reasons, but that 11, 12, 13, 14 is an important age, because this is where the world really begins to make their stamp and their mark on children. And this is the time to where a lot of the time parents really aren't paying as much attention, because those kids are self-sufficient. Those kids can usually get up and make their own bed, clean their own room, make them a snack or a food to sustain themselves. And naturally, when us as parents begin to get into this stage, we back off a little bit, because they are more self-sufficient and they don't need us very much, so we think. So then things begin to happen where other outside influences begin to impact them more than what we want, and you will see like a small downward spiral. Things usually happen to where they think that people around them that they spend more time with are more correct, because they all are saying, kind of feeling this and having the same sentiments. This is a very important thing, because parents don't really need to understand that this is where you need to put on the gas, be more of a parent, not be less of a parent, because those children are more self-sufficient. So that is where I came into. That is one of my passions. That's why I have children. I enjoy each and every one of them. Even, it would take the good with the bad, and know that they, all have different personalities, and we need to relish in that, and not pull off the gas. Not understand. Parents need to really understand that the child spends more time with the people in school, the people that are in the places that they are with, and they are with you if you're not a homeschooling parent. So the chances are the chances are that the people that are around them are going to really make an imprint on them more than you will. This is what you need to understand. Um, it's not fun. It's not a fun thing to think about because we have been put in a place in society where we are told we need to make X amount of money. We need to, if a woman isn't working full time, just like the man is, that she's not worth as much, and that's not true. It's more important because really think about it. If you're most of the women in this country are making what 30, $40,000 a year. You factor in if you want to go to work and work that $30, $40,000 a year job, you're going to have to put your child in child care, or and then that is a substantial amount of money. Sorry about that. Can't talk this morning. So when you're putting your child in child care and you're putting your child into the hands of those people, that costs money. That costs a lot of money. That is not free. Now, if you think about that for a minute, and pull back. The society is telling people and telling women that raising a child is not important. Raising a child is not a job. But yet, if you have to send your child to be raised, you have to send your child to somewhere else to be protected and provided for, then you have to pay them. Then all of a sudden that becomes a job because you have to pay somebody else to take care and raise your child. Think about how backwards that is. Think about how what is that in society that they're making you feel like you're less of a person for not going out there and having to join the rat race, right? They're making you as a woman feel like you're less than for not joining the rat race, just for you to turn around and let somebody else watch your kid in that rat race and get paid for it. But it's a job when they do it, but it's not a job when you do it. Do you see the hypocrisy in that? And that's what I'm saying. We talk about different things, or talk we several subjects that went by about how can you help, or how can you help the community advance, and one part of it was about advancing your, or letting the kids know and the people know where they come from, and having a pride about that. And some people say that that person said that it had to be qualified people that teach our kids how to be who they are, and who they are as a people. And what qualifies you as a person to be able to say that I can teach that person or that kid how to learn about who they are themselves? We hear a lot of people saying that the system is messed up. It's oppressive, and everything in it is oppressive, and we need to teach the people who they are. But the only way you can get qualified to teach a kid who they are is to go to that same oppressive structure and learn from those people. That is also hypocrisy. It doesn't take much. You want to teach, you want your person, your child or your family to learn more about themselves. All it takes is for you as the head of the family to read books on who they are. Don't read one book. You read multiple books. You read books over and over again, and then you yourself put that information into your kids, and they will know. They will be smarter and wiser to know who people are, what they're doing, all of this stuff. What politicians do, what politicians don't do. Don't be in knowing who you are. You will have to understand that just because people look like you doesn't always mean they mean you the best. That's another one to swallow. Yes, learning about yourself and learning who you are as a person will actually open the doors for you to understand that everybody that looks like you, everybody that has some of the same thoughts as you, sorry about that, everybody that has some of the same thoughts as you aren't for you. And that's some of the things that we you have to realize as when you're growing up and being told that everybody has to be on code and all of that stuff. It's a thin line between being on code and telling everybody, or not holding everybody accountable because they look like you. You don't like it? I don't like it all the time, but it is what it is. Um, Let me see. Yeah, back to this thing. I was going to use the Saturdays as a way to get in and getting my study time in for my real estate exam coming up. I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it in March. And my job has been crazy. Whoever else works in an establishment know that seems like all the employees or employers are pulling back on staffing, even though they don't have a lot of the staffing that they want. They've been trying to put things in place to put more on each and every worker in there instead of having to worry about finding more employees. And I somewhat understand, but it doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the fact that it wears people out. So be aware that we're going to have to each and every one of us are going to have to understand that we are living in a different time, and it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get harder and harder. So it is imperative on each and every one of us that we get out here and continue to don't let these people turn you into mindless zombies. Don't let them turn you into people that just want to sit here and consume. You know, they still want you to consume. They want you to continue to be consumers because without you as a consumer, they have nothing. So, but you can have your power. You can take your power. You can continue to use that, which is God given to you, your talents, and to make you less of a consumer, make you the creator, make yourself the person that can get out and make that money and make that change. Don't let them turn you into people that can do nothing but make their pockets bigger. You, each and every one of you, have a choice to be more than a consumer. And I chose not to be a consumer a long time ago. Now you can't help, not having to consume. It's just reality. But it's the difference between being a person that sits here and consumes hours upon hours of reality TV when you have the capabilities of making your own reality TV. You have the capabilities of doing the same things these other news casters do. Everybody in here has the same amount of equipment, the same amount of resources. You look at how much technology has changed in the last 10 years. I'm not even going to say 20 years. You say 10 years, and you look at the amount of high definition cameras, the access to sound, and the access to high engineered, high quality sound that people have. It's way better than what it used to be. Let me see. I myself, and I'm going to touch on this because I said my passion was children, because these are the people that are going to take everything over. And right now, it looks like any and everybody knows that the most negative things that's going out here on out here in the world are the things that are getting the most traction. You got young adults that know every one of these ratchet rap stars words and lyrics, but do not know compound interest, but do not know how to pay bills on time, do not know how basic credit works, do not know how to make the ends meet. We can twerk, we can do we can get on everything on all these different not podcasts, but different social media platforms, and do each and everything that you can do. You can join in on each and every one of these trends and know what the trends are, but you don't know what the 50 states are. You don't know, the houses of the government. You don't know the branches of the government. You don't know, how to change a tire if you're a man. You don't know how to change a battery. These are the things, the simple things that are coming more and more rare. But yet we know all of this stuff that's happening in the media, because these are the things that make you mindless slaves. These are the things that make you feel good because it's touching that part of you. You're getting that epinephrine rush, your dopamine rush. You're getting everything that you want, because those things, those visual things, those bodies, those everything that you like, the primal things that you like, you're getting it all. You're getting it all. So of course, I'm pull this back a little bit because sorry about that. The sun is moving on me, so I'll move it back a little bit. So yeah. Welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast morning edition. I appreciate you being here. We've been in here for 30 minutes. 30 minutes past the hour. I think 38, 9:38. I appreciate you being with me here in the morning. I want you to get up and do something. Make it a habit to get up and do something. Get a have yourself a goal to get up earlier and earlier you can. Now, I'm not saying that you got to get up at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, but start getting up at 6. Start getting up at 7. On the weekends, you'll feel so much better. You'll be able to know that you or have that time to get stuff done in your day. By the time it's the night falls or the sun sets, you'll be able to feel that you have so many more things accomplished, so many more things that you couldn't get done before. You're being able to get it done because you do get up. Just like Sun Tzu said, if you get up and get to the battlefield early, you will be rested, you'll be relaxed. You make it to the battlefield late, and you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be exhausted because you got to do twice the work to catch up to the person that was there earlier than you. That's what that means. So I appreciate it. Let's see. Easier and easier to ramble, but that's what happens when you just do these off the cuff shows. So I appreciate it. Get my daughter up here in a minute. We're going to take a little break real quick. And we are back. Appreciate that. Had to go do something upstairs, so we are back. Let's go. What's going on, Roberto? How you doing this morning? Hope y'all doing well. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but I hope you're doing well this morning. Y'all got any shows? Any shows this morning? Man, I ain't been paying attention, man. I had to get away. I had to get away from social media a little bit. Turn this down. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I had to get away from social media a little bit, man. It was like if you follow all these people, and it's good if you're a content creator, don't follow too many people. Don't follow too many people. Make sure follow a few people that you like, a few people that have some of the your thought patterns, and follow a couple people that do not have some of your thought patterns, same thought patterns, and let that be it. If you begin to follow all these people, all these different content creators, if you follow all these content creators and see the things that they're doing, and begin to start comparing everything to yourself, you really begin to feel like you're doing something wrong. And it's not necessarily that you're doing anything wrong. It's just comparison. You get that imposter syndrome, and that can really stifle you from being able to do what you want to do or getting those things done as well. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna get on again tonight, and I'm gonna start hitting some more of these my pre-recorded videos, because those seem to do the best. I'm gonna get on tonight, talk about ODD. You can look that up yourself. Got not a study, but a article about a little kids getting arrested for, I think 6-year-old getting arrested for battery, and them labeling kids with ODD. Being that if you were here before earlier in the podcast, you'll know that those children are basically the future. And a lot of the times we talk about the school to prison pipeline, but yet we do the exact things and we set them up to be destroyed by the school to prison pipeline. And we don't really look at the fact that we're doing that, but then we blame the society for the school to prison pipeline existing in the first place. So those are things we're going to talk about later on tonight. Let me see what else is going on. Like I said, today was supposed to be just a little real estate catch up, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get into a little bit of that, and you guys can stay with me on the Saturdays. And if we can see where it goes from here, and you never know, whole channels might be changed or do different. I'm going to stop this camera for a minute because this glare is getting on my nerves. All right. Let's see. All right, we don't need that camera down there. So last time I left off, I think we were talking about, and this is Van Ed, by the way. This is very good for online classes, like real estate and different things that will allow you to do it online. So Van Ed was very good. Classes paid for. They let you do tuition based. And I'm not sponsored by Van Ed, by the way. I'm not sponsored by Van Ed. This is so I'm never going to suggest anything that I haven't really used myself. So Van Ed is good. And I enjoy it because the user friendliness, and you can go back within the course outline, go over some things that you really feel like you haven't been able to really grasp, and then go right back, and you're at the time is yours. You have a whole year. The year starts when you actually start the course. So I start this in June. So I have to June 2023 to take my time and do it myself. So yeah, terms of payment. Yeah, we're right here. We got terms of payment, self acceleration, and you can use this right here. I'm not going to read everything, but self acceleration happens when a borrower prepaid pays principal amounts of the loan before they are due, thus shortening the life of the loan. Some notes include prepayment penalty that charges a borrower who wants to make prepayments. This is to make up for lost profit and interest. This is something that you really need to pay attention to too. This is how you can kind of tell if a lender is for you, because things begin to become really predatory after a while. So this makes up for lost profit from interest when the loan is amortized more quickly than scheduled. They said here's an example of a partial loan payment scheduled, including the amount of monthly payments, monthly interest paid, principal, and the balance remaining on a $100,000 a year fixed loan amortized at 30 years. So loan amount $100,000, annual interest 10%, term equals 30 years. Let Let me see. Get this off of there for a minute. They got security questions. Just a second. What's going on? Don't want my. Let's try it again. All right. Back in action. This is a principal and interest. This is a basic principal interest chart. Fixed interest rate loan has fixed principal and the interest payment at the term of the loan. The interest is deducted from the P&I principal and interest payment first. The balance of the payment goes to the principal or goes to reduce the principal. The following amortization schedule shows a breakdown of P&I on a or breakdown on a P&I payment of $877.57. You can see that chart right here. Look at the interest on here. This is why when they tell you about a 15-year loan, why a 15-year loan is actually better than a 30-year, because look at all this money that's getting paid towards the interest, payment after payment after payment, and how little of that money that you spend of that $877 goes to the actual principal of the loan. So the more money you can pay, the quicker you can pay it, the less money, less amount of interest you're going to have to pay over time. This is simple things that they don't that really needs to be, it really should be told to people and told to people as young as possible. So the schedule shows how as time goes by, the payment interest decreases and the payment principal increases. Thus, the 123rd payment at the 123rd payment, the loan principal decreases almost 3 times that the first did. So they're showing you right there, actually the beginning payment, and this is the what they said right there. Interest rate, interest rate. Let me stop for a second. The hell is this? Fine, look, dust. All right, got to get them out of here. Man, they spamming me. I ain't got enough people in my room to get spam, but they're spamming me. Anyway, I'm gonna move that out. Move this back so you can see full screen. More about the interest rate. Interest is the rent paid on money. Interest rates determined by the market. The individual lenders. Let's stop right there for individual on the market. I can't highlight it, but right there, we'll put the cursor right there. Interest rates are determined by the market. Now, right now, you can if you are paying attention to any kind of news or media, you know that interest rates are very high right now because the market has in the inflation and market is where it is. That's why I can't hear good like I could. Had my earphones in wrong. The interest rates are sky high. it is, unless you have a really good lender, unless you have someone that can really give you a deal on that loan, you know, this isn't time to just jump into loans blindly. You'll be end up paying uh, thousands or more on a loan than that you would normally, because these interest rates are so high. The market is crazy right now. The individual lenders, but are influenced by the Federal Reserve System right there. The Federal Reserve System is controlling the interest rate, inflate, and they also are in control of inflation. You know, what are some of the things that have made inflation the way they are now? I mean, you look at what happened. You look at what happened. You had the pandemic hit. You know, people lost their jobs. The supply chain got ruined. People got back in their jobs. Now they can't. You can't get things like you could before. Um, that's impacting money, cash flow in your place of business. Whether you are an entrepreneur or you're working for a different company, that's controlling the actual flow of the business. What happens? You're controlling the flow of business. They're not making profit. Okay, they can't pay you the money, or they can't pay people to work for them. Those people leave. Those people can't pay money. Don't have money to spend in the market because they no longer have jobs, because money isn't flowing in the market. Inflation rises. The Federal Reserve System, to combat that inflation, then makes interest rates higher. Thus, we are in the position where we are now. Open market activities and primary lending discount rate. And I am not a financial, I have to make that disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. These are just things. This is for edutainment, and these are things that you just see, that you need to see and learn from yourselves. If you don't want to learn, or you don't have the passion or the want to learn, you're going to be stuck in the same spot you are. But you need to learn as much as a system that you are under, that controls the very aspects of your life. If you do not can learn these things, you're going to be controlled by the system that much more. You're not going to have as much of a control or much of a reign on your life as you would want. You're going to be forever controlled by this system. You don't want that. You want to have as much control as you can. Activities and primary lending discount rate, the interest rate the Fed changes to other banks. They are also limited by usury laws, which prohibit lenders from charging excessive interest on loans. These are why check cashing places or payday loan places are really illegal. I don't know how they are able to operate in the manner that they do, but you see some of the interest rates on those payday loans are ridiculous. So don't do payday loans. Don't do payday loans. If you're stuck in the payday loans struggle, pay those things off and go and live a minimalist lifestyle, so you won't have to get back into that habit of using those payday loans. It's much better to get a low interest credit card, and act like that, or use it like a payday loan. Use that card, pay it right off. Next time you get paid, use that card. It's better to do that. I'm not suggesting you do that either, but it's better to do that than it is to go get a payday loan, because those things, the interest rates on those are ridiculous, and it puts you in the position that you will for never getting out of them. Only way you can get out of it is having the discipline to not use them, and go as minimal as possible with the things you are buying, with the things you are purchasing. Do not put yourself in the position. Take control of your life. Get a balance. Get a budget balance, and stick to that budget. Because if not, you get stuck into that cycle of that in that whirlwind of having to pay those payday loans off. That is rising interest rates tend to cause falling property values, and falling rates tend to cause property values to increase. All right. Equity is the difference between the value of the property and the amount the owner owes on the mortgage. It would be the profit after a seller pays off the mortgage and sells the house. For example, the current market value of a home is $340,000, and the owner owns 300 of that mortgage. She would have 40,000 in equity. Equity in a home is built through mortgage payments. The down payment improvements, appreciation, equity can drop with a fall in the housing value, as we saw recently in the mortgage crisis that came ahead in 2008. Yes, it did. But usually when you have housing things like that happen, like that housing crash, what usually happens, well, what happens is a bunch of investors come in, take that property that happened, that housing bubble, and get ahead that way. Um, Now, on the other hand, when housing has rapidly increased, the amount of your homes increased all of a sudden. That made people want to go out and sell those homes and get capitalize on that equity. But in turn, where are you going to go, or what house could you buy that you can afford with that rising rate? So I suggested, and a lot of people suggested, that you stay in the home that you had. Do not sell. Looks appealing to sell unless it was an offer you could not refuse, or you were in a situation that where it really didn't matter, like you own multiple properties. Then yeah, why not? But the loan to value ratio, the loan to value ratio is the percentage of a property's market value that a lender is willing to loan with the property offered as collateral. Turn that off. What's going on? This LTV is the ratio of a mortgage loan principal and property principal to the property's appraised value or its sale price, whichever is lower. Loan to value ratios depend on the individual lender's policy and the government's governmental backing regulations. Most lenders recognize that greater the equity a borrower has in a property, the less inclined he or she will be to default and lose the property. When a private mortgage insurance is used, the lender can sometimes offer 90 to 95% LTV ratios. Investors might qualify for 80% financing. FHA ratios are fixed to statute that there are no ratios for VA loans. This is why a lot of people go to the military, because they can get those VA loans and they can kind of bypass some of this stuff. Direct costs. Well, like I said, it goes on. We're gonna do this, and every Friday or every Saturday, I'm gonna try to get up and get some of this done. Have a little talk with you in the morning. If things happen out there in the world, we're gonna cover a little bit of that too as well. Makes no sense not to do it in the mornings. Everybody's doing it at night, and I think there's something special about getting up in the morning and doing it that way. I think something special about that. I don't know what it is. It might not be the best thing, but like I said before, I'm got a rebrand coming. We got to rebrand. We got to get out there and do some different things. So I'll be back, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that if you like to talk, or if you like the Saturday mornings, go ahead and let me know that. Share the video. Let people know that I'm still around. And until next time, everybody, peace. Have a good morning.